aiming at the pawn, okay? Here's a little rule that applies to almost every chess position ever existing. When somebody makes an attack, you want to make a defense. That seems obvious enough, but in truth it's not. A lot of times kids answer an attack with an attack of their own, which is what you did. Let's think about this in a different context, okay? If there's a big pie in the middle of the board here, okay? If I get to eat the first slice, and you get to eat the second slice, I get the third, you get the fourth. What happens if there's an extra slice at the end? Who gets it? Nobody gets it? You're not following our pattern. Let's think about it again. If I get the first slice and you get the second, and I get the third, and you get the fourth, if there's an extra slice at the end, whose turn would it be for that slice? It'd be mine. So the first person that makes the capture almost always does better in the game, okay? Here's the thing I want you to remember. When somebody makes an attack, you want to make a... It's like real life. When a grown-up asks a question, what do we want in return? We want to thank you if we ask a question. We want an answer. If you answer a grown-up's question with a question, is the grown-up going to be happy? If your teacher says, hey, Fernando, where's your homework? Are you going to say, why do you want to know? Answering questions with questions is not a polite thing to do, right? Okay. I'm asking your pawn a question. You know where you learn a lot of patterns? Chess.com. Like that plug? Let's go back. So in this position, when the dude attacks your bishop, you can take on it, okay? If he takes this way, we already said, you trade queens and you win the pawn and you threaten the pawn. If he takes this way, you win a pawn, and if he tries to get his pawn back, we have this cool trick with queen e7, okay? So if you got a chess move where your opponent's got two responses, Fernando, and both responses are bad for your opponent, that means you're going to pretty good move, right? Okay? Sorry. That's pretty long and complicated, isn't it? Now you understand why grandmasters chess moves? Because every decision, they're trying to be very, very accurate. Okay? See, let's just restate, right? He played b4. He forced you back here. Aiming at f2. How many points did he play? Okay. Now there are kids out there that say, oh, one pawn, okay. And there are other kids out there that say every single piece is important. A pawn's like $1. Would you give me $1 right now for no reason? No, nobody would, right? Nobody here would give me $1 for no reason, okay? In this position, I want you to get your $1 back, okay? Remember how I said you forced your bishop to a really useful diagonal? Okay? Oftentimes tactics happen, Fernando, to pieces that are not guarded or pieces that you're already aiming at once. Let's try to identify the target. Vulnerable. We're going to know where vulnerable means weak. Okay? Take a look at our chessboard here. What's guarding the knight? Yeah, I like how you sit and think about it, okay? And do you see how we're already aiming at this pawn once? We have two vulnerable pieces, okay? Do you see a way, perhaps, that we can aim at both of these pieces at the same time? You could. I like the idea. You did answer my question correctly. Let's ask ourselves, though, in a real-life situation, if your knight goes here, how many white dudes are aiming at you? Yeah, 2. I only see 1 defender. 2 against 1, you lose, right? Okay. So this does answer the question, but you would never play it in the real game. Let's find a different answer to the question. You want to aim at both? Okay, that's true, but the bishop's already aiming at this pawn. We really need a second piece to aim at the pawn. You're getting warmer in the way your eyes are looking. You got it. Exactly. And as a bonus, you have a triple attack because you also attack this pawn. Were you also aiming at that pawn once? So actually there were 3 vulnerable pieces, and like magic, you aimed at all 3. If you get checkmate, would you be happy that? Yeah, I can't think of a better move than checkmate, right? You can think of one way that would like to make it, okay? You also, let's say a castle, or pretend, right? You could take the knight. You lost a pawn, but you got a knight. Pretty happy about that, right? Okay? Now, I do actually have a way to save the knight and save checkmate, but I can't save the knight and the checkmate and this pawn. That'd be too much to ask, okay? Maybe, but if you had played this move, Fernando, we still got the 2 against 1 problem, okay? I like this move much better. Now, I might make a move like knight to d3. I'm not going to take my knight now, that'd be silly. You're not going to take f2 now, that'd be silly. Right? But you could still take this one. Okay? Sometimes also, Fernando, when you find the right idea, you should ask yourself, what's the right order of moves? Interestingly, you can actually take here first. It's all the same idea, but we're switching moves around. You got your pawn back, remember you is vulnerable. We learned that word, exactly. No matter what king move I make here, you get your 3 points back, and will I no longer be able to do it. One word of warning, if you ever do win my knight, be careful about moving this pawn, because after takes, maybe you could take here, but that's a credit. If you take here, what's the trick when the king and queen are on the open file? White to move. White to move and win your queen. That'd be a queen trick. You beat me with it. How do I win your queen? Remember, there's 2 pieces like open file. Not just queen for well.
If you can't take a piece,
yeah, and you're going to lose your queen here, okay? So just be careful about taking this pawn, okay? But you get the knight back.